American colleges getting hammered by the Trump administration. We all know this. Columbia University forced to pay $200 million to the federal government for its anti-Semitism. University of Pennsylvania to pay something and has banned transgendered women from women's sports. Brown, $50 million to the state of Rhode Island has to pay. Harvard and Cornell, they're going to have to pay big time if they settle, and I think they both will. So the Trump administration is after the corporate media and major liberal colleges. Joining us now from Washington is Jenn Pellegrino, the chief spokesperson for America First Policy Institute, AFPI. She used to be an intern on the O'Reilly Factor. Look, another success story, Jenn. You see?
That's right, Bill. Listen, I was a college student watching your program, thanks to my mom and dad who were loyal followers. And it was unusual back then to be of that. It still is now on some college campuses, but I think things are changing, especially with this president. So it's great to be back with you and to be able to talk about this today.
Well, look, I always tell everybody, you get through me, whether you're an intern or producer or whatever. It's like the Navy SEALs. I mean, you got
sure
O'Reilly Factor on your resume or No Spin News. People know that you can do the job because we don't fool around. All right, first of all, tell me exactly what America First Policy Institute is.
Well, we stand for policies, very simply, Bill, that put the American people first. It's all getting back to common sense, regardless of what side of the political aisle you're on. Looking at policies that are fair. When you speak about our college campuses, having diverse viewpoints. When you look at what's going on in sports, making sure men are men and women are women, and there aren't men in women's locker rooms. Things that I think a lot of people can understand and get on board with when it comes to securing our borders, issues that were top priority in our election. Things of that nature are what the America First Policy Institute focuses on. And we're bringing on board a lot of people who may say, you know what, I am not maybe following a certain president or somebody, but I can get on board with some of these policies. And we find that overwhelmingly, even 100 days into this administration, the majority of Americans are in support of those policies.
Would you say you're conservative?
I wouldn't say we're conservative or liberal. I say we're in the middle, somewhere in the range of common sense.
All right. So you got Kudlow does economics for you. Brooke Rollins, they're both conservatives. I don't see any liberals on a sheet, Jen. So I'm going to assume that AFPI leans right. Now, did you guys endorse Donald Trump?
We do not endorse a candidate or a nonprofit C3 institution, so we don't endorse candidates. Okay. We're here to support those that advance America First policies.
Why don't you put out your donor list?
Well, Bill, that's something that our development team holds secure. We don't put that out. We don't take money from corporations. I will tell you that. There are other institutions in this town that do. We only take from private donors, so we keep that secure and private to those individuals.
All right, but you might have a discussion about that. All right. Now, how would you assess the nation's colleges? Because I get tons of letters from very worried parents and grandparents who are sending their high schoolers to college and they think they're going to get indoctrinated. And I have to say, it's a legitimate concern. My old college, Marist in Poughkeepsie, New York, used to be a working class school. All right. That didn't have an ideology. Then it went woke. And I'm going, what? How do you assess it? Is it 75% woke or 50-50? What is it?
You know, I couldn't put a number on it, Bill, but I would say it's probably happening on most college campuses around this country. I went to school in the South, University of South Carolina. Not as big of an issue as some universities like Cornell or Harvard when it comes to the balance of voices. But I think, you know, there's a level of it in just about every college campus right now. And I think it is something very concerning to parents, to students that are looking at colleges saying, you know, what am I going to be dealing with it? You know, if I'm of Jewish background, am I going to feel safe going to my classes? Is there going to be an issue if I wear a MAGA hat to one of my classes? So I think there needs to be more balance in viewpoints and conversations and allowing debate, which hasn't been going on for some time, much like we've seen, as you outlined, in the media.
Does your organization have a list of colleges that it likes? That if somebody calls you and says, gee, what is the America First Policy Institute? Do they have schools that they, say are doing a good job in this area?
I think there are some institutions that are doing better than others. I will say, we've looked at universities like Cornell, who have obviously had some, DEI practices that continue to this day. We issued a formal complaint asking for the federal government to investigate some of the work that they've done illegally in terms of, providing
give me one
incentives
example
for certain hiring.
Give me one example about Cornell. What are they doing wrong?
So Cornell, one example, $50,000 incentive for hiring of a certain racial background with their medical
degrees. Who gets the 50K?
So wanting to bring on faculty with a certain racial background, 50 grand.
Who gets the 50K?
The person who referred them.
So if I refer Juan Williams to Cornell and he gets hired, I get 50,000.
If you work for the university.
Oh, you have to work for the university. Because I'd send Juan up there in a heartbeat for 50K. I mean, he could just get right on a train and go to Cornell. Okay, so that's pretty outrageous. And Harvard, my alma mater, I have a master's degree. They have 72% hiring of liberals, professors. I think it's even higher than that now. But it's outrageous. I mean, how they stack the deck against the student. Now, last question for you. If anybody wants to help the America First Policy Institute, they can go to your website and they can see what's going on. Do you believe that your pressure, okay, has led to anything positive? I mean, or is it all Trump? See, Trump is the guy that's hammering these schools, particularly Harvard. It's a blood feud. But you're not quite as militant as Trump. But have you changed any minds?
I think we have, Bill. I would say that we're very much in alignment with the president, again, being the America First Policy Institute. America First is something this president speaks about a lot. A lot of that work that we did prior to the election and handed over to the campaign, a lot of that work has been implemented now in what the president has done. So we provide a lot of guidance, suggestion, research for the administration. And they take and put that into place. So credit is due to this administration, not to us. We're just some of the brains and experts behind the scenes here.
All right, Jen, very good. I'm glad we could, in a small way, contribute to your success, and I hope we can talk again soon. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Bill.
Homeowners, when is the last time you checked on your home title? If your answer is never, then this is for you. Scammers are stealing titles, and your equity is a target. Criminals forge your signature. Just like that, your home title can be transferred out of your name. That's why I partnered up with Home Title Lock, so you can find out today if you're already a victim. Please use my promo code BILL at HometitleLock.com, and you'll get a free title history report. Plus, you will get a free trial of their $1 million triple lock protection. That's 24/7 monitoring of your title, urgent alerts of any changes, and if fraud does happen, they'll spend up to $1 million to fix it. That's HometitleLock.com, promo code